Happy Sunday. Today we're going to talk about something that is going to get much attention over the next couple weeks, and that is a new A through F letter grade system being implemented by the Tennessee Department of Education. As director of schools, I always want to make sure that our community is informed on what is occurring with our schools, and so we're going to take a little bit different approach and really go through the basics of what is occurring with the A through F system. First, this new A through F system, so every school in the state of Tennessee will receive an A, B, C, D, or F in this new ranking. This was actually put into law in 2016, but has not been implemented for various reasons, ranging from the assessment not working to COVID and all kinds of other different types of things. As we are talking about this A through F letter grade system, I think it's important for you to understand that as the director of schools in our county, we have no problem with accountability, no problem with data. In fact, it is our goal to make sure we use data to make sure that each student grows each and every year, no excuses. And just talking personally, I was actually a TCAP ambassador. We're all familiar with the TCAP assessments our students take. I was a TCAP ambassador with the Tennessee Department of Education in 2016, 2017. So I truly do have a passion for assessment and making sure that our students, our schools, and our districts are held accountable and are continuing to achieve. We used to have something called an accountability protocol. This is very important for schools, and it was released before the school year would start. Just like your own student has a report card, your student knows how they are going to be graded, what that A, B, C, D, or F different breakdown is going to be. They know they're going to be taking their different courses for what they're scheduled for in our elementary grades. They know they're in math, English, science, social studies, art, music, and some other of our exploratory courses. That is the way that it was previously done, as it was released prior to the school year so that your schools and our teachers knew what our goals and criteria were. As we move into this school year, however, things are a little bit different. The letter grades are going to be released on December 21st. This is a new system. In fact, I didn't get the letter grades and the rules for the letter grades until December 12th. I wanted to pause there for a second because that is an important aspect that we want to hit on. This new accountability, the A through F system, was not something that schools knew about during the 22-23 school year. However, it is going back and retroactively being placed on results that your child and our students and our schools took the entire last school year. So again, it is results from last school year. Letter grades for schools are going to be on systems and targets we didn't know existed. For example, if we wanted to say 70% of our kids would be on grade level, that would be an A. We would know that would be the target. However, we didn't know what the targets were for this school year. I always brought it up again, or I brought it up earlier, is this real life example. The way that I like to refer to it is it would be like us telling you after your student has gone through the year, we're going to change the way the report cards were, and instead of being 90 to 100, now it's going to be 80 to 100, or it's going to be 97 to 100. Your students already had the entire school year, but we've changed what the measurement looks like. I've also seen the example of talking out from a sports example. It would be like playing a football game, not calling any penalties, and not keeping up with any score, and then changing the way that the points are collected at the end of the game to be able to hit some certain type of message. But the appropriate way to make sure that letter grades are done would really have been for this July, past July, is for our schools and our districts to know what the targets were going to be. We can meet targets as long as we know what they are. But again, and I want to re-emphasize this point, the A through F letter grades that are going to be coming out, published on December 21st, are grades that are based on last year's TCAP results, to where schools and districts across the entire state had no idea the system and targets they were trying to hit. So what does the new system look like? The system is broken into 3 or 4 components depending on what grade band you're in. For elementary and middle school, it is achievement, growth, and then growth for the highest need students, your students that are the lowest performing, so we can make sure that we catch them up. For high school, you add in college and career readiness. Different types of benchmarks that students and schools are trying to hit. One point I want to point out here is that achievement talks about the number of students hitting proficiency or grade level. That is the highest percentage of the A through F system. So a couple things as this data is coming out, I think it's important. Rutherford County schools performed relatively very well. When we are talking about performance, I think that makes our avenue to discuss the A through F system even more powerful. With Rutherford County schools performing well, You're not going to see our schools celebrating necessarily, we were an A, we were a B, we were a C, any of that type of thing, because ultimately we have issues with the way this system was put in place. As we talked about previously, we're all for accountability. But when you're looking at accountability, you want to make sure that you know what the targets are and that those targets are known before you actually start to work into a school year and work with our students. Really what it comes down to for me is that we always want to acknowledge the success levels of our school, so we are proud of the work that we did. We are proud of the scores that we are going to receive, but it does come down to making sure that across the state, was this done in a transparent process? Was this communicated effectively? And I would answer no to both of those. And then lastly, is there an ability for all schools to have success? With a model that is strictly half of your score based on achievement, we have schools in Rutherford County that serve very high needs populations. They may have a large percentage of English language learners who are trying to really truly learn the English language, yet the largest majority of their school score is going to be based on how well not are they learning the English language, but how well can they perform in this one achievement test. The old accountability protocol that we used to have allowed every school an opportunity for success regardless of the students they were serving. And so to summarize, Rutherford County Schools, as this data is released, overall performs very well. We're very proud of that, but ultimately it comes down to we want an accountability system, and we expect, as you would as our stakeholders, you expect us to communicate transparently, and that's exactly what we expect for accountability. We want to know how we're going to be held accountable and what those targets are. This is the last video for our first semester, so I want to thank all of you for your dedication to Rutherford County Schools, for your feedback on ways that we can improve, and we look forward to a really strong second semester. The last part I would add is we starting to move into the winter season. Make sure that you have plans for if we have early dismissal days, days that we have to delay, or for days that we're going to have to be out of school because of winter or severe weather. As the director of schools, I always want to make sure we operate in an abundance of caution, and if there are ways that we can keep our kids safe or our buses safe, we usually will operate with that caution in mind. So please be on the forefront and think about how can you make those plans. It's been a pleasure to be able to serve as the director of schools for this first semester of the 23-24 school year, and I look forward to even more success in the second semester.